The shoulder complex is made up of two joints, the shoulder girdle and the shoulder joint. This complex is enormously plastic and responsible for mobility, dexterity, fine motor skills. It can also elicit thousands of movements. A consequence of this mobility is that it is much more prone to injuries than, say, your lumbopelvic hip complex. The reason for this is that the shoulder complex is a shallow joint and has fewer primary stabilizers. These stabilizers are also smaller than the large ones in the lower extremities. This causes the secondary stabilizers to pick up the slack, which increases stability, but can also easily lead to muscle imbalances and improper posture. It is also important to maintain efficient range of motion of the shoulder complex to help reduce the risk of injury. First, I will walk through a stability exercise for the shoulder girdle. A good exercise for this is a shrug. To do a shrug, you will need to activate the force couples of the shoulder girdle that position and move the scapula. I'm going to focus on the elevation in the frontal plane and sagittal axis, but you can also practice protraction or retraction. Shrugs heavily rely on the upper and middle trapezius of the rhomboids and the levator scapulae in isometric contraction. Be sure to maintain a neutral spine in the pelvic and pelvic position. Okay, and then you just activate your trapezius and extend as high up as you can, and then hold, and then go down, and do it again, and then hold. When relaxing, the muscle fiber tension of the lower trapezius and pectoralis minor will bring the scapula back to equilibrium. This is a relatively simple isometric open chain exercise. Now I will walk through an open stability exercise for the shoulder joint. The shoulder press or military press also takes place in the frontal plane or sagittal axis. The shoulder press involves the pectoralis major, anterior deltoid, craccobrachialis, and the biceps brachii. Okay. During both the flexion or concentric phase as well as the extension or eccentric phase, be sure to engage the core and maintain a neutral pelvic position. So you go up, you dip, up. Finally, an exercise that encompasses the entire shoulder complex is a push-up. This is a closed chain sagittal or frontal axis exercise. It recruits the pectoralis major and minor, the anterior deltoid, the biceps and triceps brachii, the craccobrachialis, and the serratus anterior. To do a push-up, you need to maintain a plank position. Okay, keep a neutral spine and try and engage the core. Okay. When doing a push-up, be careful to not cross over the frontal plane in the concentric phase. This could lead to the overdevelopment of the muscles responsible for the hyperextension and could inhibit the range of motion of the anterior plane. So this range of motion. Also, be sure to maximize scapular protraction when really engage the shoulder girdle. So come down to 90. And go back up and fully extend the shoulder girdle. Most people stop here, go all the way.